Hi and welcome to Apex Atlas. At the southern edge of the Arabian Peninsula, where Africa and Arabia nearly meet, lies a country shaped by contrast. This is Yemen, a land where mountains rise unexpectedly from desert plains, where ancient valleys cut deep into the earth, and where isolated islands host life found nowhere else on the planet. Yemen is not defined by one landscape. It is a convergence. Highlands catch moisture from seasonal winds. Deserts stretch across vast interior regions. Coastal zones connect to the Arabian Sea and the Red Sea. And far offshore, Socotra stands apart, an ecological world of its own. Here, altitude, climate, and geography combine to create one of the most diverse natural systems in the Middle East. In this documentary, we explore Yemen's complete natural identity, from mountains and deserts to coastlines, valleys, and isolated ecosystems. This is a land shaped by extremes and defined by adaptation. Chapter 1: A Land of Extremes, Mountains, Desert and Sea. To understand Yemen, you must understand its contrasts. Few countries contain such dramatic variation within relatively short distances. Yemen's landscape shifts rapidly, from high mountain ranges to arid desert plains, from deep inland valleys to long, rugged coastlines. In the west, the Yemeni highlands dominate. These mountains rise sharply from coastal lowlands, forming one of the highest regions in the Arabian Peninsula. Peaks exceed 3,000 meters, capturing moisture from seasonal winds and creating cooler, more temperate conditions than surrounding desert. Terraced agriculture climbs these slopes, a reflection of both human adaptation and the underlying geography. These terraces stabilize soil, retain water, and transform steep mountainsides into productive landscapes. To the east, the land descends. Mountains give way to plateaus and eventually to the vast expanse of the Rub al-Khali, the empty quarter. Here, dunes stretch endlessly, shaped by wind and time, forming one of the harshest environments on Earth. Between these extremes lie wadis. Wadi systems, dry river valleys, cut through rock, carrying water only during rare rainfall events. Over time, they have carved deep canyons such as those found in Hadramaut, where settlements cling to valley floors and cliff edges. Along the coast, the environment shifts again. Yemen borders both the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden, creating a diverse coastal zone influenced by marine currents, heat, and salinity. Coastal plains are hot and humid, contrasting sharply with the cooler highlands inland. And then there is Socotra. Located in the Arabian Sea, this island is geologically and biologically distinct. Its isolation has allowed species to evolve independently, resulting in landscapes that appear almost otherworldly. Yemen's geography is not gradual. It is abrupt. Mountains rise quickly. Deserts expand suddenly. Valleys cut deep and narrow. Coastlines shift between rugged and open. This diversity creates ecological opportunity, but also challenge. In Yemen, nature does not settle into one form. It changes dramatically, and often within a single journey. Chapter 2: Climate, Monsoon and Seasonal Contrast. In Yemen, climate is not uniform. It is layered, shifting dramatically with altitude, distance from the sea, and seasonal wind patterns. This is a country where multiple climate systems overlap, from humid coasts to cool mountain air, from monsoon-influenced islands to some of the driest deserts on Earth. Yemen experiences a range of conditions rarely found within a single nation. In the western highlands, altitude transforms the climate. Rising above 2,000 meters, temperatures here are significantly cooler than in surrounding lowlands. Days can be warm under strong sunlight, but nights drop quickly, especially during winter months. These mountains also capture moisture from seasonal winds, making them one of the few regions in the Arabian Peninsula with relatively consistent rainfall. Rainfall arrives in pulses. Rather than steady precipitation, Yemen's highlands experience seasonal rains linked to shifting atmospheric patterns. When moist air rises over the mountains, it cools and condenses, producing sudden downpours that feed terraced fields and recharge groundwater. To the east, the climate changes rapidly. As elevation decreases, rainfall becomes scarce. Plateaus transition into arid and semi-arid zones, where vegetation thins and water becomes increasingly limited. By the time the land reaches the edge of the Rub al-Khali, conditions are among the driest on Earth, with minimal rainfall and extreme temperatures. The desert climate is defined by intensity. Daytime heat can be severe, while nights cool rapidly due to clear skies and lack of humidity. Wind plays a constant role, shaping dunes and redistributing sand across vast distances. Along the coast, a different environment emerges. The Red Sea and Gulf of Aden coastlines experience high humidity and heat for much of the year. Sea temperatures remain warm, influencing local weather patterns and creating a climate that feels markedly different from inland regions. Here, evaporation rates are high and rainfall is limited, yet the presence of the sea moderates temperature extremes slightly compared to interior deserts. Offshore, the island of Socotra introduces another climate system entirely. Influenced by the Indian Ocean monsoon, Socotra experiences strong seasonal winds that can isolate the island for months at a time. During monsoon periods, powerful winds and rough seas dominate, limiting access and shaping both marine and terrestrial ecosystems. These winds also influence vegetation. Plants on Socotra have adapted to withstand constant exposure, developing unique forms that reflect both wind stress and limited water availability. Across Yemen, seasonal contrast is not defined by temperature alone, but by water availability and wind patterns. Rainfall determines growth. Wind shapes land and vegetation. Altitude creates variation within short distances. Climate here is not predictable in simple terms. It is dynamic, shifting between regions, changing with elevation, and responding to broader atmospheric systems. In Yemen, the environment is not shaped by a single climate. It is shaped by many, interacting, overlapping, and constantly evolving. Chapter 3: The Yemeni Highlands, Mountains of Life and Agriculture. In western Yemen, the land rises into one of the most remarkable highland systems in the Arabian Peninsula. These are the Yemeni Highlands, a chain of mountains that run parallel to the Red Sea, forming a rugged spine of peaks, ridges, and deep valleys shaped by tectonic uplift and erosion over millions of years. At their highest point stands Jabal an-Nabi Shu'aib, reaching over 3,600 meters, the tallest peak in Arabia. Here, altitude reshapes everything. Temperatures are cooler than in surrounding lowlands. Moist air rising from the Red Sea condenses over the mountains, bringing rainfall that is rare elsewhere in the region. This combination of elevation and moisture creates one of the most fertile environments in the country. The landscape is transformed by terraces. For centuries, human communities have carved stepped fields into steep slopes, creating one of the most iconic agricultural systems in the world. These terraces are not just for cultivation. They are engineering solutions designed to retain water, prevent soil erosion, and stabilize mountainsides. Rainfall is captured, slowed, and absorbed. Without these terraces, water would rush down slopes during storms, carrying soil with it. Instead, the land holds moisture, allowing crops to grow in an otherwise challenging environment. Vegetation reflects this balance. Grasses, shrubs, and cultivated crops dominate lower slopes, while higher elevations support more natural vegetation adapted to cooler temperatures and variable rainfall. In some areas, juniper and other hardy trees persist, particularly in regions less impacted by human activity. Water flows through this system carefully. Small streams form after rainfall, feeding into larger channels that eventually reach lowland valleys. These highlands act as catchment areas, sustaining ecosystems far beyond their boundaries. Wildlife is adapted to elevation. Birds use thermal currents rising from valleys to glide across ridges. Small mammals and reptiles find shelter among rocks and vegetation, surviving in an environment where conditions can shift quickly between warm days and cool nights. The highlands also influence climate beyond their borders. They intercept moisture, shaping rainfall patterns and creating a gradient from relatively fertile mountain environments to increasingly arid lowlands further east. But this landscape is fragile. Terraces require maintenance. Soil must be preserved. Water must be managed carefully. Without balance, erosion can quickly reshape slopes and reduce productivity. In Yemen, the highlands represent more than elevation. They are a system where natural processes and human adaptation have worked together over centuries, turning steep mountains into living landscapes. Here, life does not fight the terrain. It works with it. And in doing so, the mountains become not just a barrier, but a source of life. Chapter 4: Wadis and Valleys, Rivers that Shape the Desert. Beyond the mountains of Yemen, the land opens into vast plateaus and deep-cut valleys, landscapes shaped not by constant rivers, but by water that arrives only occasionally. These are the wadis. Wadis are dry river valleys that remain empty for much of the year, yet they are among the most important geological and ecological features in Yemen. When rainfall occurs, often suddenly and intensely, water rushes through these channels, carving deeper into rock and reshaping the land. Over thousands of years, this process has created dramatic canyon systems. One of the most striking is Wadi Hadramaut, a vast valley cutting through eastern Yemen. Its steep walls rise sharply from the valley floor, where settlements and vegetation cluster along the limited areas where water can be accessed. Here, water defines life. Though flow is temporary, moisture lingers beneath the surface. This allows date palms and other vegetation to grow along valley floors, creating green corridors within otherwise arid landscapes. These areas become centers of human settlement and ecological activity. The contrast is striking. Above, dry plateaus stretch toward the horizon. Below, narrow bands of life follow the path of water. Flash floods are both vital and dangerous. When storms arrive, wadis can fill rapidly, transforming from dry ground into powerful rivers within hours. These events recharge groundwater and sustain ecosystems, but they also reshape channels, erode soil, and pose risks to settlements. The geology of wadis tells a story of time and persistence. Layered rock formations exposed in valley walls reveal millions of years of sediment deposition and erosion. Each flood event contributes to this ongoing process, gradually deepening valleys and widening channels. Vegetation adapts to unpredictability. Plants along wadis must withstand long dry periods, then rapidly utilize water when it becomes available. Deep root systems access underground moisture, while some species grow quickly following rainfall before conditions return to arid. Wildlife follows the water. Animals concentrate along wadis where vegetation and moisture are more abundant. Birds, small mammals, and insects rely on these corridors for food and shelter, moving between habitats as conditions change. Wadis also connect landscapes. They link highlands to lowlands, carrying water, sediment, and nutrients across the country. Even though they flow intermittently, their influence is continuous. In Yemen, rivers do not need to be permanent to shape the land. Even brief moments of flow can leave lasting impact. Wadis are not empty spaces. They are systems waiting for water. Channels of movement, corridors of life, and reminders that even in the driest landscapes, water remains the defining force. Chapter 5: Deserts of the East, Edge of the Empty Quarter. In the far east of Yemen, the land reaches one of the most extreme environments on Earth. Here lies the edge of the Rub al-Khali, the empty quarter. This is not a landscape shaped by water or vegetation. It is shaped by wind. Dunes stretch across vast distances, rising and falling in waves of sand that shift constantly under the influence of powerful desert winds. Some dunes reach heights of over 200 meters, forming immense ridges that define the horizon. The scale is overwhelming. There are few landmarks, few signs of life, only patterns of sand, sky, and light. Temperatures here are extreme. During the day, heat builds rapidly under direct sunlight, with surface temperatures soaring far beyond air temperature. At night, the desert cools just as quickly, with heat escaping into the clear sky. Rainfall is almost non-existent. Years can pass without significant precipitation. When rain does fall, it is brief and quickly absorbed or evaporated, leaving little lasting impact on the landscape. Despite these conditions, life persists, but only in highly specialized forms. Plants are sparse and widely spaced, adapted to store water and reduce moisture loss. Some survive entirely on underground reserves, sending roots deep beneath the surface. Animals are elusive. Many are nocturnal, avoiding daytime heat by becoming active at night. Reptiles, insects, and small mammals move across dunes and hard desert surfaces, using burrows or shaded areas for protection. Wind is the dominant force. It sculpts dunes into ridges and curves, creating intricate patterns that shift over time. Sand is constantly in motion, lifted, carried, and redeposited across the desert. This movement means the landscape is never truly fixed. Dunes migrate slowly. Contours change. Even familiar routes can disappear. At the edge of this system, transitional zones appear. Rocky desert and gravel plains form where sand cover is thinner, creating a slightly more stable environment. These areas act as boundaries between the vast dune fields and the more varied terrain of Yemen's interior. The desert also influences surrounding regions. Hot, dry air moves outward, affecting climate patterns across eastern Yemen. Dust carried by wind can travel long distances, linking the desert to broader atmospheric systems. In Yemen, the empty quarter is not just a place. It is a force, a landscape defined by absence of water, of vegetation, of permanence. Yet within that emptiness lies a different kind of complexity. A system driven by wind, temperature, and time. And at its edge, Yemen meets one of the most unforgiving environments on Earth. Chapter 6: Socotra, the island of alien life. Far from the mainland of Yemen, in the open waters of the Arabian Sea, lies a place unlike any other. This is Socotra, an island so isolated, so ecologically distinct, that it feels almost separate from the rest of the planet. Separated from mainland Africa and Arabia for millions of years, Socotra has evolved in isolation. This long separation has allowed life to develop along its own path, creating species found nowhere else on Earth. The landscape itself appears otherworldly. Rocky plateaus rise above coastal plains. Mountains cut through the island's interior. And scattered across this terrain are plants that seem almost alien in form. The most iconic is the dragon's blood tree. With its umbrella-shaped canopy and thick trunk, it stands unlike any typical tree. Its form is not aesthetic, it is functional. The canopy reduces water loss by shading the ground beneath, while its structure allows it to capture moisture from mist and condensation. Nearby, bottle trees store water within swollen trunks, surviving long dry periods in an environment where rainfall is limited. These plants are not exceptions. They are part of a broader system of adaptation, where nearly a third of plant species on the island are endemic, meaning they exist nowhere else in the world. Climate plays a defining role. Socotra is influenced by the Indian Ocean monsoon, bringing strong seasonal winds that shape both the land and its ecosystems. During these periods, conditions can become harsh, with powerful winds and rough seas isolating the island from the outside world. Moisture arrives not only through rain, but through mist. Clouds moving across higher elevations deposit water onto vegetation, supporting plant life even when rainfall is minimal. This creates microhabitats where life can persist despite broader arid conditions. Wildlife reflects the same isolation. Bird species unique to the island inhabit coastal cliffs, mountain slopes, and inland plateaus. Reptiles have diversified into forms adapted to specific niches, while insects play essential roles in pollination and ecosystem balance. Marine environments extend this uniqueness. Coral reefs and coastal waters around Socotra support diverse marine life, influenced by nutrient-rich currents from the Arabian Sea. What makes Socotra remarkable is not just its species, but its independence. Its ecosystems evolved separately. Its life forms adapted without external competition. Its landscape reflects millions of years of isolation. In a world where most ecosystems are interconnected, Socotra stands apart. A natural laboratory of evolution. A place where nature followed its own path, creating a landscape that feels both ancient and entirely unfamiliar. Chapter 7: Coastlines and Marine Life, Red Sea to Arabian Sea. Along the edges of Yemen, the land meets the sea in dramatically different ways. To the west, the Red Sea coastline stretches along hot, low-lying plains. To the south, the Gulf of Aden opens into the wider Arabian Sea. And far offshore, Socotra stands surrounded by deep, nutrient-rich waters. Each of these coastal regions forms a distinct environment, shaped by temperature, currents, and geography. On the Red Sea coast, heat dominates. Temperatures remain high throughout the year, and humidity adds to the intensity. The coastal plain, known as the Tehama, is flat and arid, with limited vegetation and minimal rainfall. Yet beneath the surface of the sea, a different world exists. Coral reefs thrive in the warm, clear waters. These reefs support diverse marine life, fish, crustaceans, and countless smaller organisms forming complex ecosystems. Despite harsh conditions on land, the sea here sustains life in abundance. Further south, the Gulf of Aden introduces change. The coastline becomes more rugged, with cliffs, rocky outcrops, and deeper waters. Wave action increases, and the interaction between ocean currents brings nutrients that support marine productivity. Fishing communities rely on these waters. For generations, small-scale fisheries have operated along Yemen's coast, drawing on marine resources that remain central to livelihoods in coastal regions. Beyond the mainland, Socotra expands this marine story. Surrounded by the Arabian Sea, the island sits within a zone of oceanic mixing. Seasonal currents bring nutrient-rich waters to the surface, supporting plankton growth, the foundation of the marine food chain. This, in turn, supports larger species. Fish, rays, and other marine life thrive in these waters, while coastal ecosystems connect land and sea through shared ecological processes. Coastal environments are not static. Tides reshape shorelines. Waves erode cliffs and deposit sediment elsewhere. Wind influences both land and sea, linking atmospheric and marine systems. Salt also plays a role. Coastal vegetation must tolerate high salinity, adapting to conditions that would limit most plant life. Mangroves, where present, stabilize shorelines and provide habitat for both terrestrial and marine species. The connection between land and sea is constant. Rivers and wadis carry sediment and nutrients to the coast. Marine systems influence climate and weather patterns inland. Coastal zones act as transition points between two very different worlds. Yet these environments are sensitive. Changes in temperature, pollution, and overfishing can disrupt marine balance. Coral reefs, in particular, are vulnerable to warming waters and reduced water quality. In Yemen, the coastline is not a single environment. It is a series of systems, each shaped by its own conditions, yet all connected by the movement of water. From the still heat of the Red Sea to the open energy of the Arabian Sea, these coastal landscapes reveal another dimension of Yemen's natural identity. Chapter 8: Wildlife, Survival Across Extreme Landscapes. Across the varied landscapes of Yemen, wildlife does not exist in abundance. It exists through adaptation. This is a country of extremes. Mountains, deserts, coastlines, and isolated islands each demand different strategies for survival. Species here are not defined by size or visibility, but by their ability to endure heat, scarcity, and unpredictability. In the highlands, life clings to elevation. Birds glide along thermal currents rising from valleys, conserving energy as they move across rugged terrain. Small mammals find shelter among rocks and vegetation, avoiding exposure to both predators and sudden temperature shifts. Predators remain elusive. Among them is the Arabian leopard, one of the rarest big cats in the world. Adapted to mountainous environments, it moves silently across cliffs and valleys, relying on stealth rather than speed in terrain where pursuit is difficult. In desert regions, survival becomes more specialized. Species such as the Arabian oryx are adapted to extreme heat and limited water availability. Their bodies conserve moisture, and their behavior shifts to avoid the harshest conditions of the day. Many desert animals are nocturnal. Activity begins after sunset, when temperatures drop and the risk of dehydration decreases. Foxes, rodents, and reptiles move across dunes and rocky ground under cover of darkness, navigating an environment that appears lifeless by day. Water, when present, becomes a focal point. In wadis and valleys, wildlife gathers where vegetation and moisture are available. These temporary ecosystems support higher concentrations of life, even if only for short periods following rainfall. Along the coast, the pattern changes again. Marine life flourishes beneath the surface, while seabirds nest along cliffs and shoreline habitats. These birds rely on ocean productivity, feeding on fish and other marine organisms supported by nutrient-rich waters. Socotra introduces a different dimension entirely. Isolation has allowed species to evolve independently, creating a distinct ecological identity. Birds such as the Socotra cormorant are found only within this region, reflecting the island's separation from mainland ecosystems. Reptiles and insects form essential foundations. Though often overlooked, these species play key roles in pollination, decomposition, and the food web. Their ability to survive in harsh conditions allows larger ecosystems to function. What unites wildlife across Yemen is constraint. Water is limited. Temperatures are extreme. Habitat can be fragmented. Yet life persists, not by dominating the environment, but by adapting to it. In Yemen, survival is not about abundance. It is about precision. Every movement, every behavior, every adaptation is shaped by the need to endure. And across mountains, deserts, and sea, life continues, quietly, efficiently, and against the odds. Chapter 9: Nature Under Pressure. Across Yemen, nature exists in balance, but that balance is increasingly fragile. This is a land already shaped by extremes. Water is limited. Soil is often thin. Climate varies sharply across regions. When additional pressures are introduced, the effects are amplified and recovery becomes more difficult. In the highlands, land degradation is a growing concern. Terraced agriculture has sustained communities for centuries, but these systems require constant maintenance. When terraces are abandoned or damaged, soil becomes exposed. Heavy rainfall can then wash it downhill, leading to erosion that reshapes entire slopes. Overgrazing adds to this pressure. Livestock are essential to livelihoods, yet excessive grazing reduces vegetation cover, leaving soil vulnerable to wind and water erosion. Once topsoil is lost, it is extremely difficult to replace. Water scarcity is one of the most critical challenges. Groundwater reserves are being used faster than they can be replenished. In many areas, water tables are falling, making access increasingly difficult. This affects both human communities and natural ecosystems that depend on consistent water availability. Wadis reflect this change. Flash floods still occur, but long dry periods between rainfall events can reduce the overall effectiveness of these systems in sustaining vegetation and replenishing groundwater. Desertification is expanding. In parts of eastern Yemen, arid conditions are spreading into areas that once supported more vegetation. Wind erosion removes soil, while reduced rainfall limits plant recovery, gradually transforming landscapes into more desert-like conditions. Coastal and marine ecosystems face their own pressures. Coral reefs are vulnerable to rising sea temperatures, which can lead to bleaching events. Pollution and overfishing disrupt marine balance, reducing biodiversity and affecting the livelihoods of coastal communities. Socotra, despite its isolation, is not immune. Its unique ecosystems are sensitive to change. Overuse of resources, climate shifts, and increasing human activity can threaten species found nowhere else on Earth. Climate change intensifies all of these challenges. Higher temperatures increase evaporation rates. Rainfall patterns may become less predictable. Extreme weather events could become more frequent. In a country where natural systems already operate within narrow limits, even small changes can have significant impact. Yet pressure does not always appear as sudden collapse. In Yemen, it is often gradual. A little less water, a little more erosion, a slow shift in vegetation. These changes accumulate over time, reshaping landscapes in ways that may not be immediately visible, but are deeply significant. Nature under pressure here is not just about loss. It is about thresholds, and in a land defined by extremes, those thresholds are never far away. Chapter 10: The Future of Yemen's Natural World. The future of Yemen will be shaped by one essential idea: balance within extremes. This is a country where natural systems already operate close to their limits. Water is scarce, landscapes are fragile, and ecosystems are finely tuned to survive under pressure. Yet within this vulnerability lies resilience, built over thousands of years of adaptation. The highlands will remain central. These mountains capture moisture, support agriculture, and sustain human life in a region otherwise dominated by aridity. Protecting terra systems, managing soil, and preserving water resources will be critical to maintaining this balance. Water management will define the future. Groundwater depletion is one of the greatest long-term challenges. Sustainable use, improved storage, and more efficient distribution will determine whether both ecosystems and communities can continue to function. Wadis and valleys must be protected. These systems connect rainfall to long-term water availability. Maintaining vegetation and preventing excessive erosion will help ensure that water continues to move through the landscape effectively. Desert regions will continue to expand if not managed carefully. Preventing further land degradation, stabilizing soil, and protecting transitional zones between desert and more fertile land will be key to slowing this process. Marine environments offer both opportunity and risk. Healthy coastal ecosystems can support fisheries and biodiversity, but only if overfishing, pollution, and temperature stress are controlled. Coral reefs, in particular, require stable conditions to recover and persist. Socotra represents a global responsibility. Its unique ecosystems, shaped by millions of years of isolation, are among the most distinctive on Earth. Protecting this island means preserving species and ecological processes found nowhere else. Climate change introduces uncertainty. Rainfall patterns may shift. Temperatures may rise. Extreme events may become more frequent. Adapting to these changes will require flexibility, not just in infrastructure, but in how land and resources are managed. The future of Yemen is not about transforming the landscape. It is about working within it, understanding limits, respecting natural systems, maintaining balance between use and preservation. Because in a country defined by contrast, between mountain and desert, between water and scarcity, between isolation and connection, the margin for imbalance is small. Yet if that balance is maintained, Yemen can continue to support one of the most diverse and striking natural environments in the region. A place where extremes do not prevent life, but define it. A land of extremes, a story of balance. At the edge of the Arabian Peninsula, where mountains rise from desert and sea, lies a land shaped by contrast. This is Yemen, a place where elevation brings life to dry air, where valleys hold water in moments of rain, and where isolation creates worlds found nowhere else on Earth. From the terraces of the highlands, to the vast silence of the Rub al-Khali, from the shifting wadis to the alien landscapes of Socotra, Yemen reveals a natural system built on adaptation. Nothing here is easy. Water is limited. Conditions are extreme. Survival demands precision. Yet life continues. Across mountains, deserts, and sea. In Yemen, nature does not dominate. It persists. And in that persistence lies something powerful. A reminder that even in the harshest environments, balance can still be found. If you've enjoyed this journey through one of the most diverse and dramatic landscapes in the Middle East, please like the video. It really helps support the channel. And subscribe to Apex Atlas for more cinematic documentaries exploring the nature, geography, and hidden ecosystems of countries around the world. More landscapes, more extremes, more stories shaped by the earth itself. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next destination.